health issue.
Please.
The video speaks for itself. The dog was mauling him.
Last Sunday, Alpharetta police say they responded to Travis Moya's household in Alpharetta after Moya's stepson and wife called 911.
Why are you doing this?
There's a situation occurring right now at my house. My stepfather, he's acting like all wild and crazy. He's like growling.
Yeah, we need an ambulance. We don't need the police. We need an ambulance. Oh my God, I don't want him to see the police and get alarmed or anything.
Despite calls for medical personnel, moments later, video shows Alpharetta police officers showing up at Moya's house.
How's it going, man? What? We're just here to make sure everything's okay.
In the police report, officers say Moya, who is also now facing felony obstruction charges, took off his sweat jacket while balling up both of his fists and appeared very agitated.
Come here. Get on the ground. Get on the ground.
But new body camera video shows Moya put on his jacket and was trying to walk inside his house peacefully. Seconds later,
Ground. Don't fight with her or the dog.
Police say Moya was resisting arrest and attempting to get away, but video shows he had 3 officers on his back before he was tackled to the ground, where they attempted to handcuff him.
Officer Esposito waited 3 seconds, actually a little bit less than 3 seconds, before using the canine to attack.
Video shows the canine still biting Moya while both of his hands are behind his back.
He's on 2 different antibiotics for how severe the infections are to his arm because of all of the bacteria that was on this canine's teeth. They're in mental health counseling. He's having to see an orthopedic because of the damage to the shoulder.
At no point was he actively resisting law enforcement.
But Alpharetta police say Moya was resisting and officers follow the department's use of force policy. The Fulton County DA says they are now reviewing the video as well.
For the Fulton County District Attorney to dismiss the charges.
What's up, my PBM family? What's up? Good to see you guys again. It's another episode of Old School Cops. You see what I got? I got a 3-man unit tonight. You got the Jump Out Squad. We're a little old, but we still can get in the mix and handle some things for you guys. But listen, y'all know my boy Shane's always riding shotgun. That's my partner. He was in patrol. He went to the Red Dog unit, and that's a real aggressive drug unit. He became commander of the SWAT team. So we got a lot of experience here tonight. We got my boy Reg in the house, 20 plus years in the game. Half of his time was spent in patrol. Then he went and became a canine handler. And when I tell you one of the best canine handlers in the state, they will call this man for everything, every jurisdiction. My man is the guy when it comes down to canine. So I'm glad he's on the panel tonight, because when we talk about this incident, you got a family who calls for help. They said, don't send the police, and you see why. I'm seeing this more and more now where people are afraid to actually call the police. But do you blame them when you have outcomes like this? You look at this particular incident, their family member was going through some type of mental illness. He was going through a mental illness breakdown. You got 4 officers there, 3 officers and 1 canine officer. So before I even start to tell you about how I feel, I'm going to let Reg get into let him start out this assessment, because he's the canine professional. Reg, tell us what's going on with this, because I can't call it, man.
First of all, you got 3 officers on 1 guy. You should have left that dog in the car. When I was a handler, I brought the dog out. If we was outnumbered like 20-5, I might have brought him out then. But that situation, you have 4 officers, 1 man. Should have left that dog in the car.
So what you get? What grade you get this guy? I know you're going to say what, a F minus?
No, incomplete.
Yeah, definitely. I say the same thing. You got 3 officers there. It should just been a real quick takedown by 3, handcuffed, and
right.
That's it. Without incident, whether we take them to the hospital to get evaluated. Like, I can't believe, like, they pretty much just jumped them with the dog. Like,
right.
You got 3 officers, 1 dog. And then my boy, Shane, tell me what you think. And I think you actually pulled up their policy, right? Their use of force policy.
I looked at quite a few policies online. I looked at NYPD use of force, Alpharetta use of force policy. I also looked at LAPD use of force policy. And there's really 3 different guidelines for canines. Is it a reasonable threat, a need, proportionality of the circumstances, and was a verbal warning giving? Now, canine may be deployed when there's a reasonable belief, right, that the subject poses a threat to officers or public safety, or when there's a subject that's fleeing from a serious crime, maybe actively resisting arrest, or hiding in a dangerous environment, that's when apprehension is needed and the canine may be deployed. Also, the use of canine must be proportioned to the threat, right, of the situation. Deploying a canine to apprehend a non-violent person like what we saw today, it could be deemed excessive. It's excessive. Suspects who are either evading capture or posing a physical risk, that's usually a canine deployed. And also, I noticed with all the use of force guidelines, guys, there's a verbal warning that needs to be given. Most policies require that there's a clear warning the canine is going to be released. And by saying that, it gives an opportunity for the subject to do a few things: to surrender and comply and avoid the use of force. I didn't see that happen at all. And when it comes to canines, we got to look at the legal framework. You know, we talked about, Joe, I think last week, we always bring up Conner versus Graham. And with Conner versus Graham, you got to look at, is there objectable, reasonable force being used? And just to give a little background for our first time users, the Conner versus Graham, there was a case law in 1989 where this person named Mr. Graham was diabetic. He had some issues going on, what have you. So he ran into a convenience store in North Carolina to get some orange juice. Now, the line was too long, so he ran out, and there was a police officer on the side named Conner. And he saw him, and he said, you know what? This looks suspicious. Let me go after him. Mr. Graham explained what happened. They put him in handcuffs, tuned him up. They broke his foot, broke his hand. He had a few bruises. Went all the way to the Supreme Court. Supreme Court said, hey, this was wrong. Was this reasonable? You got to look at the totality of the circumstances. And totality of circumstances showed that this was incorrect. So when you look at that case law, Conner versus Graham, did the totality of the circumstances, was it used to deploy this dog? Like what Reggie said. Reggie said, look, there's 3 officers there, okay? There's a canine unit there. Officers got tasers. We got batons. We also have a sidearm that's issued. We have my Glock magazine carried 18 rounds. Got 2 other magazines. That's 30 rounds or more together. And that's 3 times 4 officers. What was the need to deploy a canine unit? Was this guy actively resisting? His hands was behind his back, 2 officers on the side, and the canine in the back. This was unnecessary use of force. And so when we look at this from a perspective, was this reasonable at all? This is follow the case law. This is follow the precedent. This is something that police officers got to be thinking on the scene. So for me, I got to agree with Reggie. It's a failure. It's an incomplete. It's going to be a big lawsuit. I looked at quite a few canine lawsuits. People are getting paid because of this. This was completely wrong. It was unjustified. And me as an officer being there, I would not feel threatened if I have you, Reggie, Joe, my partner, with me as I'm trying to apprehend or talk to a subject. I don't feel the need to be threatened. So I think this was
overboard.
Just get an F, Joe. Definitely.
Yeah. And the problem that I'm having, we're there on a medical call. If
Correct.
he's not actively trying to hurt somebody, like, what are we doing, fellas? Like, you really can't just try to calm this guy down, talk to him. The whole approach should be different when you're dealing with somebody that's experienced a medical condition, some form of a medical breakdown, a medical episode. Like, why are we acting like this guy just killed a bunch of people? Like, I just don't understand. Like, when I used to get on a call and I knew that it was a medical call, like, the guy ain't really commit no crime. I'm really trying to calm him down, talk, and wait for the medical units to arrive so he can be transported medically. But, you know, when they call, the cops got to come because we don't know what stage is he in. Is he extremely violent? I understand the family was like, listen, don't send the police. And they got every right to feel that way, especially when you see scenes like this. But they go, we have to go. And that happens all the time. And I think when officers should get there, only thing they should be concerned with is the safety of people. You see how he was just walking around? He really wasn't even doing nothing. Come here, this and that. Why? Chill, relax. Let medical get there. Relax. Just stand by. You're really like on a call like this. Your job, biggest concern is just safety right up the gate. So once you establish, like, the family's there, he's standing there, he's walking back and forth, you're a secondary unit now. You're trying to wait for the people who really know how to deal with him, the medical personnel to get there. Let them deal with him. As long as he's not trying to actively hurt somebody, causing damage to the house. Like, you don't have to jump in right away and act like this guy's a criminal. So yeah, I'm so against officers handling these calls because a lot of them are not trained for it. You get a very little bit of training dealing with EDPs, very little bit of training. Emotionally disturbed person for the people. I said EDPs.
Right.
So yeah, so that's why like this one is just bad, bro. And like you said, the taxpayers, when the taxpayers are going to get frustrated, you could be the most pro cop in the world, but aren't you tired of paying for bad policing? Right. It's crazy because I'll read the comments and you see, well, if he just could have complied, well, he got what he deserved. Like, dude, all these guys are trained. They're trained to deal with him, and then when they don't deal with him like they're trained to, then the taxpayers, you guys got to pay for it. When are you going to get tired of paying for bad police? That's the question you need to ask yourself. When y'all start getting tired and start making some noise, then you're going to see a change in the game. Listen, like we always say, man, this is an educational platform, and if you can learn anything, take your fight to the courtroom. That side of the road is not where you want to fight your battles. So listen, be safe, and I'll see you next video.